On a warm Friday evening in the city of London, Sabina Nessa had plans to meet her friends at a pub just 8 minutes away from her home. Little did she know, this seemingly ordinary half-mile walk would have dire consequences. The exact details of what happened to Sabina during this walk and the subsequent investigation that followed would uncover the truth and hold someone accountable for her disappearance. Welcome back to the Midnight Investigator, where we delve into the case of Sabina Nessa. Sabina Nessa was a young and ambitious woman, full of charisma and dreams for her future. However, everything changed for her on that fateful evening. The questions that lingered were, what happened to Sabina Nessa? Who was responsible, and why? In this video, we aim to investigate these questions and shed light on this tragic case. For those who are new here, the Midnight Investigator shares solved, unsolved, and strange cases on a weekly basis. If you find this content intriguing, consider subscribing to our channel for more captivating stories. Now let's delve into the case of Sabina Nessa. London, a city with a rich history and diverse culture, was the backdrop for our case. As the capital of the United Kingdom, it has thrived for over 2 millennia, offering architectural marvels, bustling commerce, vibrant entertainment, and renowned tourist attractions. When people think of London, they often picture Buckingham Palace, Big Ben, the royal family, and the famous underground system. However, the city has much more to offer, including countless eateries, cozy cafes, and serene spots to unwind. London's skyline is a blend of architectural styles spanning centuries, from ancient Roman structures to medieval castles, all the way to modern-day skyscrapers. The city's prosperity and historical significance have attracted people from all walks of life, including a significant number of millionaires. However, the high cost of living has also made it inaccessible for many. Our focus in this case is the borough of Greenwich, located south of the River Thames. It is here that we meet Sabina Nessa, a 28-year-old woman with a bright future ahead. Sabina was born in Bedfordshire, north of London, to Nessa and Abdar Roof, who had migrated from Bangladesh in search of a better life for their growing family. Sabina had a loving upbringing, surrounded by her parents and 2 sisters. Her childhood was filled with joy, and she developed a deep love for animals and people. After graduating from school in 2011, Sabina decided to pursue a degree in sociology at the University of Greenwich. She completed her bachelor's degree in 2014 and returned to Bedfordshire, where she spent a few years settling into adulthood. During this time, she discovered her passion for teaching, especially working with young children. Sabina aspired to teach abroad in the future, which required a teaching degree. She went back to school and graduated from the University of Bedfordshire in 2020. Following her graduation, Sabina moved back to London to gain teaching experience. She secured a job at Rushy Green Primary School in Lewisham, where she taught a class of 35 to 6-year-old children. Sabina loved her job and formed a strong bond with her students. She was respected and admired by her colleagues, and her teaching experience brought her closer to her dream of teaching children in the Middle East. As a 28-year-old living in London, Sabina also had an active social life. She frequently met up with friends in her local area of Greenwich. It was on September 17, 2021, a warm Friday evening, that Sabina had plans to meet a couple of her friends at a local pub called The Depot. The pub was less than 10 minutes away from her flat on Unsolved Road in Kidbrooke. London is not known for being the safest city for a young woman walking alone, especially at night. Sabina tried to avoid going out alone and preferred well-lit paths and populated areas when she had to walk alone. On this particular evening, Sabina had 2 options to get to the depot. She could either walk through the residential streets or take a shortcut through nearby Cater Park, followed by a well-lit, busy main road. Although Sabina didn't feel comfortable walking through Cater Park, she was running late and decided to take the shortcut. At 8:30 p.m., Sabina put on her makeup, wore one of her favorite dresses, and headed out of her flat. She walked down Astor Road and entered Cater Park. Meanwhile, her friends were patiently waiting for her at the depot. Sabina never showed up on time, and even after an additional half an hour, she was nowhere to be seen. She didn't respond to text messages or phone calls either. Her friends assumed that something had come up and Sabine could no longer join them, so they continued with their evening. Little did they know that Sabine had every intention of meeting them. She had left her flat only 8 minutes away from the depot, but she never made it to her destination. It never crossed her friends' minds that something sinister had happened to her. After all, who would expect anything bad to happen during an 8-minute walk in broad daylight in one of the largest cities in England? Unfortunately, their assumptions couldn't have been further from the truth. The following day, on September 19th, a dog walker made a harrowing discovery in Cater Park. He stumbled upon a body lying in the long grass, covered with branches. The police were called, and the area was immediately closed off for investigation. Tragically, the body was identified as Sabina Nessa. The news of her death devastated the public, and her family was notified of the heartbreaking loss. The police launched an extensive investigation and appealed to the public for any information or surveillance footage that could help solve the case. Surveillance cameras revealed a man walking along Pegler Square near Cater Park around the time of the assault. He was seen holding an unknown object and appeared to be suspiciously looking around. Moments later, a silver car was captured on camera, driving away from the area where the man was walking. The police suspected that the car belonged to the man. Initially, 2 other men were arrested in connection with Sabine's murder, but there was a lack of evidence linking them to the crime. They were subsequently released. However, the surveillance footage provided a crucial lead, placing a suspect near the location where Sabine's body was found. The footage was released to the public on September 24th, and several anonymous tips identified the suspect as Koci Selamaj, a 36-year-old gas station attendant from Albania. Koci lived in Eastbourne, located 65 miles away from the crime scene. The police wondered why he was seen in Kidbrooke on the evening of Sabine's murder. Expert analysis confirmed that the man in the surveillance footage was Koci Selamaj. He was tracked down, arrested, and initially remained silent during police questioning. However, after being charged with Sabine's murder, he made a surprising request. "What will happen to me if I open up now and say everything?" Koci's confession provided a chilling account of the events leading to Sabine's murder. On the same day she disappeared, Koci had checked into a hotel in Eastbourne, just minutes away from where he lived. The hotel staff knew him because his ex-wife, Ionella, worked there. Koci would often linger in the lobby, seemingly waiting for her while making others uncomfortable with his presence. Ionella agreed to talk to Koci in his car, hoping to reason with him. However, the conversation took a dark turn when Koci moved to the backseat and suggested they have sex. Ionella refused and left him alone in the car. Koci, fueled by anger and frustration, sped through the hotel car park and disappeared. Instead of returning home, Koci drove 65 miles to London with the intention of finding a woman to sleep with. He parked his car in Kidbrooke and entered a local supermarket where he bought a rolling pin. Surveillance cameras captured his movements. He then followed Sabine into Cater Park, where he attacked her. Koci struck Sabine multiple times with a folded traffic triangle, causing her to collapse onto a park bench. He dragged her into nearby underbrush, strangled her, and covered her body with branches. After committing this heinous act, Koci wiped down the park bench, disposed of the shattered traffic triangle near Tunbridge Wells, and calmly drove back to Eastbourne. He resumed his daily routine, going back to work at an Esso garage as if nothing had happened. Following his arrest and subsequent guilty plea, Koci was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 36 years. Sabine's family, devastated by her loss, continue to hold candlelit vigils and memorial events in her memory. Her sisters remember her as beautiful, talented, and caring, and the community mourns the loss of a daughter, sister, teacher, and friend. Sabine's tragic murder sparked a city-wide campaign to raise awareness about women's safety in London. It highlighted the need for vigilance, mutual support, and accountability in ensuring the safety of everyone. The case of Sabina Nessa serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerability of women in public spaces and the importance of creating a safer society. Random acts of violence like this leave communities shattered and lives irreparably damaged. We must strive for a world where everyone can walk without fear and where justice prevails for those who have been lost. Thank you for joining us. If you found this case interesting, please like the video and consider subscribing to the Midnight Investigator for more stories. Remember to take care of one another. See you next time, and goodbye.